on something very important I want to speak about. And even though I have Canelo versus Terrence Crawford as my profile pick, there's something much more deeper than that I want to speak to you guys about today. It's a very specific message, and I want to be able to share this message with you guys in a real way. Okay, so I got the picture from here. It's Canelo versus Crawford. It's from Seconds Out. Shout out to Seconds Out. And you know, different fans have Canelo knocking out Crawford here, you know, and so on. Crawford's taking on a Herculean task, no doubt about that. But I want to say that this is probably the biggest fight in boxing right now. It's going to be at the end of this year if Canelo gets past his opponent, and I'm looking forward to it. It will probably be in September, Mexican holiday around there. But I think this message that I'm about to share with you guys, which does apply to boxing, it applies to every aspect of life, it's going to come in handy for you. Okay, so let me start off by saying that you are extremely important, you're extremely powerful. And what I'm about to share with you is going to empower you even more than you have been empowered before. Boxing is a form of entertainment. And as a form of entertainment, you, the fans, a lot of you think that you don't have much power, that you can't affect boxing. But we have seen it many times. We've seen fans demand Mayweather versus Pacquiao. We got Mayweather versus Pacquiao. We've seen fans want the matchup with uh, Deb, with Errol Spence versus Terrence Crawford. We got Errol Spence versus Terrence Crawford. You see, it's all dependent on you, no matter what the powers of be say. Okay? Because you drive the sales, you drive the tickets. And they like to say that boxing fans, they don't really matter much. You do matter. Fans always matter. Anybody telling you that you don't matter that much, hardcore boxing fans, etc., they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. You bring excitement. And what you bring, if you're very excited about something, now we know we had Mayweather versus Conor McGregor. We know we had Jake Paul versus somebody else. But those things are flukes. They cannot be sustained. They're not sustainable things. When you give fans what they want, fans will do the advertising for you. Your numbers is what makes you so powerful. And your determination is what makes you so powerful. Yes, the boxers have to want it to entertain you, but if your demand is so strong, they inevitably will have to do it because it's going to be worth their time and money. A lot of you boxing fans don't feel empowered. You do not understand that the industry rides on you. You do not understand that the industry takes money from you. Some of you are addicted to the sport of boxing and you'll watch anyway, you say. You need to have a different attitude. It doesn't matter how much you want to see something. If it goes against any kind of ethics that you have, you should be able to boycott it. I am in a very successful movement where we got the vaunted Snyder Cut within 4 years of us starting campaigning. I'm also in another very successful movement, which is called Free Palestine, even though Gaza is being bombed right now and so on. The influence and impact of this movement now has gained a lot of traction within a year. Okay, this movement, Free Palestine movement, has started somewhere in when October 7th came. And that movement has really become strong. It's only a year we've been in it. Now, people have been campaigning for a free Palestine for decades. Decades. But the kind of progress we've made today is unlike ever before. Unlike ever before. And a lot of people are siding with us. And they're now seeing also, the mainstream is now seeing, the people, the general public is now seeing that not only is this a validity and an important thing to happen for Palestine, but it's an important thing to happen for each country in the world, because the same measures that are taken in Palestine right now are the same measures happening in the United States of America and in Europe. The xenophobia. Now, I say all of this to say this, that as the truth comes out and things are exposed, and then real-time stuff happens, so you can see stuff. There's no third party, there's no media, there's nobody like myself talking to you. You're seeing it with your own two eyes. You are able to understand now the full picture, especially when you see the people in authority, the people who are supposed to be doing something, they're not doing enough at all, in any way, shape, or form. Okay, so I'm going to now talk specifically about boxing for a second, and then I'm going to go very specifically about a general principle that can be applied to anything and will bring about the success that you so desire, whatever your desire is. First, let's go to boxing. So Canelo versus Terence Crawford is a much anticipated fight. You will recall that Canelo had no interest in facing Terence Crawford originally, saying that he was too small. However, given the right incentive and the right amount of money, Canelo has changed his mind, and he's looking at facing Terence Crawford after this defense that he's going to do and unification. Now, Terence Crawford said he wanted Canelo Alvarez. Terence Crawford said he wanted Errol Spence Jr. But do understand, for those two fights that we're talking about, which are mega fights, one is a mega fight and one is upcoming, it really was incumbent on you to push it. Of course, Turki Al-Sheikh had a lot to do with that as well, and compensating the fighters on doing such a thing. But the point is that Turki Al-Sheikh is a fan himself, and it is the fans that drive a reality, that make things happen, that everybody can appreciate. Okay. So now I said that, I'm going to go into some specifics about any kind of movement that you're doing, how you approach it, and how you succeed at it. But first, before we can get there, there is no such thing as a Messiah in this world, currently. So if you're looking to some politician to save you, if you're looking to some leader in some sort of diplomatic position to express your wishes, you're living in a dream world, Neo. Okay? The only way things happen is by you, as a collective, putting pressure on it. Whatever you want, you have to now campaign with other people to make it happen. Shout out to Noctis Draven. I want to take my hat off to all the accounts here who are or were large and spoke and speak truth about Israel, genocide, Palestine, and how America is compromised. Some of you have 100, 200, 400, 500, 700,000 or 1 million or more followers, and you risk it all to tell the truth. You speak truth knowing it means losing followers, losing prominence, losing money and careers. Some of you have already been banned, lost it all, are starting from scratch again. I want you to know you inspire me. I love you and I don't follow you. And if I don't follow you, it's not personal. I simply don't keep up with who follows me or vice versa. God bless you guys. You know who you are. The world will never know your names, but you're putting work in where it counts. And for that, I have the highest respect. Remember this, my friends. It's brick by brick, stone by stone that a castle is built. No one may notice the individual brick or stone, but together we build something that cannot be ignored. You're making history even if you don't know it. Let me say, first of all, you guys in the boxing community know me as what you need, but I'm nobody special. I'm no one special, but I'll tell you something. collectively, enough people with my mindset become something of a force. And I've met so many like-minded individuals. And because of that, it's the collective that is dangerous. It's not the individuals. Me as an individual, you could pluck me off, you could exterminate me, you could assassinate me, you could destroy me. But what makes a movement different to a movement which has a Messiah, who has a Savior, is you take out the Savior, the movement's over. But if you have a movement where you decapitate the so-called leader and the movement keeps moving, it means that it's a movement that goes beyond leadership. I want to teach you something very powerful and very specific. People who follow their convictions and have passion with their convictions and see it through to the end, they attract more people because the passion is very magnetic. People will come who will come to criticize, to destroy the movement, and there'll be people coming to join because they're attracted to it in a positive way. Some people are attracted to things in a negative way and they try to destroy it. And some people are attracted in a positive way and they come to build it. You will find that the people who harmonize with you don't say much. They just act. You will find that the people who come to destroy what is happening will speak out, will comment. When you see a big post, a massive post that has millions of likes, when you go through the comments, usually the comments are negative towards that post. You know why? The people who harmonize with you don't need to say nothing. What don't need to be said don't need to be said. But the people who do not harmonize with you, they feel compelled to say something. And so they open their mouths and say something. And of course, it's always very destructive, as destructive as they possibly can be. And that's how effective it is. You want things to go into the zeitgeist. You want things to enter into the sphere where the public is aware of it. When you break that threshold and you enter into the public, it is a totally different game. You're both target and you're both inspiration. You don't have to be anybody special. You just have to harmonize whatever everybody else is thinking. The hot subject matter. Now, I'm saying this to say that you can, as he's saying, brick by brick, you build things. A movement is built on a foundation. The foundation, if it's built on lies, will not last. If it's built on truth, will endure and grow and multiply up to a point. When whatever is being desired is fulfilled, you have to now think of how to preserve this and keep it going as a people, as a collective. That usually is where you become susceptible to being infiltrated and destroyed. Now, this brother, Knox Draven, is fighting not just for a free Palestine, but he's also fighting for a free America. America free from the claws of Israel, but really and truly, an America which is free from the leadership that is destroying it within and also destroying it without. It's not just the American empire because it's symptomatic of the Western Empire. And to be quite honest, everybody knows now that the Western Empire They're hypocrites. What is happening in real time right now exposes all of that. But it goes levels and levels and levels deeper, as deep as you would like to dive. And now the average American is beginning to realize they've been hoodwinked. Donald Trump is not the answer. They have been looking, especially the right, and people who have swung to the right who voted for Donald Trump, they've been looking for an answer. And I'm going to tell you what your answer is. Your answer isn't in any leader or any savior or any person. Your leader is in you being a collective and helping one another. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to spell out a way to take action that will work and is working for whatever it is you want to do. First, you must understand that the people who govern were governed because of you. They serve you. They need your money. They need your passion, if it's entertainment, and your engagement. And if it's work, they need your labor. They don't do the labor. You do the labor. They don't pay the money. You pay the money. When it comes to entertainment, entertainment is driven only and solely on you. Advertisements are designed to attract you to buy stuff. You, the center of everything. You're the center of what keeps a country running. Because they need your money, whether it's through your purchasing, whether it's through taxation. They need your money to keep the economy going. No matter if you're paid. Companies cannot make profit. Businesses cannot do well without your labor. Independent businesses can't do well without your labor. Again, they need you. You are the major donor to the government of any country. All countries of the world. You are the major donor. How? You are the major customer that buy the goods and services in your country. You are the major labor force to this day, until they automate everything, that is compensated for your labor, but through which corporations and organizations and businesses make profit off of your labor. You're like in the plantation picking corn, right? And then after the corn is harvested, the plantation sells the corn or the cotton or the whatever as raw materials, makes profit off of that, off of you. You don't pick corn, they don't make money. Nothing stays or afloat. The plantation breaks apart. It's that simple. You guys don't understand. Elon Musk gave Donald Trump $300+ million. Do you know how much the U.S. government collects in income tax? From you. Not from the wealthy, obviously. From you. $2.4 trillion. Trillion dollars. No lobby group, no business, no individual oligarch gives that kind of money to the U.S. government. You are the major donor. You're also supposedly, I say supposedly, the major endorser of who should be governing you. Look at how much power you have. You're the major endorser of who should govern you. They will present a candidate to you and you either endorse him or not. You're the major donor to the government to keep the country running. That includes Wall Street, et cetera, because Wall Street is driven by customers who buy products. You are also the major labor force through which this happens. You as a collective have so much power. Doesn't matter what aspect we're talking about, whether it's sports, entertainment, whether it's work and jobs, whether it's policy, governmental or country policy. You have a major stake in that. You're a major player in that. Okay. Now, once this is understood, let's get to the point. You finance everything. You finance most stuff, including companies, the private and public sector, the government and private enterprise. You drive markets because you're the major consumer of all markets. You also are the one who has this say in endorsing who would rule and who does not. And finally, you are the one, when it comes to entertainment at least, that provides the excitement and the anticipation for upcoming events. You're the major advertiser. Now, why I say all of these things? Because if you do not understand your power, you are not able to create the change you want. And you will buy into narratives which trivialize you and make you feel powerless when you have all the power. You have all the power. Let me explain to you. The people who are in entertainment work for you. They work for you. Why? You're the one that pays their salaries. All governmental bodies, all of them, I don't care what system they're under, whether it's communism, socialism, democracy, capitalism, all governmental agencies and you finance them. You're the one that finances them. They work for you. I mean you collectively as the people of the world. I also mean you as citizens of a country or civilians in a country. Okay. So now that you understand how important you really are, and don't be bamboozled by anyone. Oh, by the way, all corporations run because of you. I don't care how automated they are. They still need you. They need you to buy their products, and they need you for labor. It might be specialized labor, but they still need you. Okay, so you're central to this. Until they replace us with machines, you are central to a lot of things. Now, let me explain the potential of you so you will understand. You are 8 billion people. In the United States of America, you're over 300 million people. Imagine 8 billion people against the world's 1% elite. What's 1% of 8 billion? Is it 800? Is it 800 million? No, it's 80 million. So it's 8 billion versus 80 million people. You got it? You got it? You got the numbers. Now, of that 8 billion people, 4 billion people are activated. They'll do something. Imagine if 8 billion people were activated and would do something. In other words, if I tell you all these things and then I tell you a call to action, how you can operate to make things happen, 4 billion of you, half of you will do it. The other half will not do it. Imagine if all of you did it. Abdullah Omar is a friend of mine from Palestine. I know him from Twitter. He's a normal guy. He says Palestine is facing a genocide, not a war. It's not a fucking war. Yeah, it's a slaughter going on right down there. I don't know how many of you are aware of it, but it's a slaughter going on, and it's absolutely incontrovertibly wrong what's happening. Okay, Red Pill Media says, and this is a Republican, I guess that Zionist propaganda agents were told to blame Rachel Ziegler for the failure of Snow White and totally ignore the fact that millions of people boycotted the movie because Gal Gadot is a terrorist. Gal Gadot has only been speaking well of the IDF, and Gal Gadot, this is entertainment by the way, has not shown any inch of empathy for the people of Palestine. In fact, in the Oscars award ceremony, Gal Gadot refused to go and present to No Other Land directors the Oscar. She refused to do so. And Samuel L. Jackson and Selena, whatever her name is, Garcia, whatever her name is, they presented it. And even they were muttering how, they're being too political with the award or whatever. People boycotted Snow White because of Gal, not because of Rachel Ziegler, even though she didn't help. And Rachel Ziegler later on posted Free Palestine. And here's the other interesting thing. And again, just exposing. Finding out that Mark Platt personally flew to New York to talk to Rachel Ziegler and make her delete her tweet where she said, Free Palestine, which is right below here. Always remember, Free Palestine. She actually said that knowing that the lashback, the blowback on her movie was because of Gal. And Michael Moore cheered it on. And let's not forget that one of the directors and producers of the movie, he was beaten by settlers when he went back into Palestine, and he's been kidnapped by the IDF, and he's somewhere being tortured in one of those concentration camps they have in the West Bank. Just so you guys know. And just in case you didn't know this little piece of information, I'm going to put it out there because I know it's a boxing channel, but nonetheless, I just want to put it out there so that you guys can see it. Oh man. I just feel I need to do this, so I'm going to do it. Where is it? Hold on a second. Un momento. See if I can find it here somewhere. Well, I got so much to say, but I'm not gonna burden you with too much. I'm just gonna give you the strategy. Oh, there it is. Okay. Yeah, here it is right here. This is back in 2021. The idea of murders or abducts, tortures, and molests children in captivity, along with the targeting of civilians. Gal Gadot supporting the IDF while ignoring the Palestinian suffering caused by the Israeli government. Why we don't like her. She's a pretty Wonder Woman, but she's not a true hero. And I'm going to put you another one. I got plenty. These are people in Palestine. They just recently got married. They're trying to get funds to live, to buy stuff to live. Nick Fuentes said this about what's happening with the Daily Wire. Its stock is plummeting because, of course, the right is beginning to realize they've been tricked. We got chemtrails in the sky that's supposedly supposed to cause rain, but they have heavy metals in them, which is causing people to get sick and get cancer. We still have that fluoride in the water. Instead of putting fluoride in the water, killing many, causing people to slowly die, genocide, and people are speaking up about these things. Okay, these are things that have been issues for a long time, and now people are speaking up about it. And I'm saying this to say that the same people who are causing the genocide in Palestine, guess what? They don't care about you. They don't care about the bulk of us. They like to see 8 million of us disappear. Why? Because they now be easier to control everything. They don't love us. They've never had. If you're against fluoride in drinking water, I highly suggest you listen. You remember what happened in Flint, Michigan? Like, you guys don't remember. It's still an issue, by the way. They don't give a fuck about you. And the sooner you realize that, the better. Because now, here's what's happening. You get to take action. And the way to take action is to use your power, your purchasing power. Purchase locally. Purchase moms and pops. You take back your purchasing power. Don't tell me, oh, I can't control myself. I gotta watch boxing. You're a fucking idiot if you like that. You're like one of those stupid DC simps out there that can't use their brains and realize what is trash and what is not. People are less and less investing their money in shit fights in boxing. Don't invest in it. If it's a great fight, then you invest in it. Otherwise, hold back your goddamn money. Keep it. Spend it on something else. You have purchasing power. Use it. You have labor power. Let me explain what I mean. So, some of you work in different industries. You may work in the entertainment industry. You may work in the in the sporting industry. You're labor. And while they like to make you feel like you're replaceable and they can bring scrubs in your place, the truth is, if you as a collective stop tomorrow, the industry does not work. We saw the Actors Guild shut down some shit. The Writers Guild shut down shit in strikes to negotiate different outcomes. And you can do that in any industry because they need your labor. They need you. You don't need them. They need you. You can be fired from a job and you can go get a mom and pop's job, or you can start your own little commerce and do your thing on the side with young actors and people up and coming. You don't have to be plugged into the industry like that. You can start your own lane. With respect to the other strong point that I'm going to show you guys, and you have to learn to have strength. Not only should you be tweeting on Twitter and stuff, you're not empowered by tweeting on Twitter. That's good. You can express yourself. But what's more powerful and what's more impactful is identifying with like-minded individuals and taking stands on certain things. I'm not supporting this. I'm not investing my money in this. And collectively spending your money where it best suits you. When it comes to governance, which is usually the hardest one, again, governance is dependent on you. If you don't find that the person you endorse is doing what you want them to do, then it's time to get rid of them. But once you have closer ties and relations with people locally, your local shops, your local places, instead of donating to corporations. A lot of you like Coca-Cola. Do you know what Coca-Cola does? Coca-Cola and the Koch brothers back a lot of wars. That money is used and pumped into the military complex. And see the bombings and stuff that's happening right now? That's what it's for. If you work in the military complex, you don't like what's happening, then simply don't participate and start striking against it. If you're somebody who helps build weaponry, stop building the weaponry and strike and fight up against it. You don't have to take orders as a military person if it's not in keeping with morality. You have to learn to think for yourself. The vets. Things are changing in America very rapidly, and things are changing in the world very rapidly. The world is not the same. It's not about a hegemony, American hegemony anymore, which is backed by, UK and the Eastern and the European Union. No, the world is changing. The dynamics are changing. China is seen different to how it used to be viewed. So is Russia. Things are changing. And you have to be flexible and be able to change with the times. What is happening in Palestine is atrocious. But every single thing is captured on social media. I'm going to give you one more atrocity, and I'm going to back out of here and get out of here.
Day before, up close, and say, we're going to bring her here in front of you, and we're going to gang rape her in front of you if you don't admit. I have an orthopedic surgeon colleague here who was taken out of the operating room. His fingers were crushed. They showed him a picture of his wife from a spy, not from a magazine or an old photo, and it had a metadata said it was taken the day before, up close, and said, we're going to bring her here in front of you, and we're going to gang rape her in front of you if you don't admit that you're Hamas, or we'll keep breaking your fingers. He still didn't admit he was Hamas, and they said, well, then we're going to send a drone through your bedroom window and incinerate your children, and he still wouldn't admit he was Hamas. They beat him every time he asked to speak to a lawyer, and beat him twice as hard after he spoke to his lawyer. And he spent 11 months in prison, having probes inserted up his rectum by female IDS members who said that the probe was soaked in pork blood.
This is what's happening, man. And I'm just saying, this is the atrocities that are going on. This is an American doctor who is in Palestine. He's still in Palestine as we speak. This was before the bombing assault started to happen. So we don't know if he's alive or dead. We don't know if he's captured or not. But the point I'm making is not that. The point I'm making is this is being exposed. This is being in the public. People are seeing the evils that these people are and how wicked they are and what they're doing. And it's exposed. Now, the important thing is call to action. The call to action, what in a world where justice really should have reigned, all countries in the United Nations should have voted unanimously to, one, suspend Israel's UN participation until it abides to all the ICJ rules and human rights rules, etc. Secondly, they should have all stopped doing trade with Israel immediately. There should have been an immediate trade embargo. As well, it should have been an immediate removal of all diplomats from different countries in Israel. Should have sort of isolate them and let them starve out, like how they're doing to the Palestinians right now. With respect to the United States, they should have done the same thing. Now, and any other country complicit with it, so if it's the UK, whatever. Now, these are big players. The United States, UK, they're big players in the United Nations, but that's what they should have done. Now, that's not happening. And particularly more disturbing is the fact that we have Arab countries such as Jordan, Saudi Arabia, UAE, Turkey, Egypt, Morocco, Sudan, who are not saying anything about this. Now, I know Sudan's in a war, but still. Libya, Syria. Syria just recently been taken over by ISIS, supposedly the ones who caused 9/11. And what's amazing is that none of these countries are doing that. But currently in Turkey, there's a turmoil because Erdogan might just be thrown out of power because the people are really putting pressure and heat on him. They're protesting. They're also attacking. They want him to destroy the oil stream that goes towards Israel that passes through Turkey. Now, what I'm trying to tell you is it's not up to You have to put pressure on them. You're the major contributions to the countries. You need to put your pressure on these diplomats and leaders, or remove them from power and get somebody who will listen to you and do your will. So this is the sort of thing that we have to deal with. We have tyrannical governments also that try to quiet down the people. You have to persist. You have to be relentless. You provide labor. You provide commerce, major commerce. You have all the keys. You endorse who should govern. So if these are the things that you do, if you're a major part of the economy as well as the economy pretty much, then you should use that right, that power, to take away any contributions you would give, so they know they have to listen to you for you to come back to the table. That's what you need to do with all these politicians, whether it's Starmer in the UK, whether it's Donald Trump in the United States, whether it's the king of Saudi Arabia or Jordan. This is what you as the people need to do. The people in Egypt, the same thing. Don't say, oh, we need to eat. We need the government, so we need to get paid to eat. No. Now how you do it is you don't go to the major people. You go to your people in your localized area and you get food from them. You eat from them. You help one another. Whoever does agriculture, do it directly with them. And strike. We need a worldwide strike. Where are our labor unions? And if you don't have a labor union, and even if you're in a tyrannical state, strike and protest. Let's have a global reaction and put pressure on the leaders, because they're cowards. They're afraid that the United States will bully them. No, put pressure on them. Make them crumble. Right? What's happening in the United States with the abductions that's going on, and the illegal transfer of people, the illegal removal of people from the United States. Stand. Fight them. Shut down everything until they release these people, until they stop these draconian policies. Of course, you need illegals to come out of the United States, but they need to go back to their home country, not go to some concentration camp in some other country. We will not have that. The rule of law must be obeyed. So I just wanted to speak on that. I wanted to speak on entertainment at the same time. There's a lot going on. We'll talk about that some other time. I have to get out of here. I am Christ, I am disciple. I hope you guys have a great day. You know, I kind of started off with boxing, but I veered off in another direction, but yet it's very specific. You have the power. You're the one that employs these people. Don't take anything and everything from them. You're the life source of them. Take some control. Stop being a wuss. Be a collective. Take control and dictate what should be